Hey, how's it going everybody? It's Tanner here, and welcome to a new Ninjago video here on the channel. In today's video, we are going to be discussing what explicitly was shown to us during Season 10's finale, that of course being March of the Oni, and how exactly that depicts Lloyd's afterlife. Now, the concept of an afterlife in real life is kind of controversial, so we're not going to be getting into that, but in terms of the Ninjago lore and the expansive universe surrounding the realm of Ninjago, it is kind of obvious what happens to a soul after the person dies. If anybody dies throughout Ninjago, or even some of the other realms, in theory, they will be teleported to the departed realm where they would live out the rest of existence. The departed realm is shown to be something that connects to a lot of other realms, including Ninjago, and once again, in theory, it would connect to other realms such as Chima, the Cloud Kingdom, all that kind of stuff, but that's not confirmed, keep in mind. Either way, in Ninjago, when somebody dies, their spirit will go to the departed realm where it will live out the rest of eternity. We used to have the cursed realm as well, reserved for souls that were, well, cursed, but the cursed realm is no longer a thing anymore, so we really don't need to count that. The departed realm is not sinister in nature, but we do know that it does hold the spirits of many dead people, so I suppose that could be sinister to an extent. But we're not going to be talking about the departed realm today. Instead, what we're going to be talking about is the afterlife that Lloyd experienced during the conclusion of March of the Oni. So if you guys remember what happened during Season 10's finale, the ninja, along with Garmadon and Wu, managed to perform the tornado of creation that warded off a lot of the Oni forces invading Ninjago. This in turn caused Lloyd to presumably die and see what his afterlife would be like. Basically, we can actually confirm that Lloyd did indeed die during this tornado of creation process somehow, or he was just knocked out somehow and experienced this vision, but for all intents and purposes, Lloyd was killed here somehow, and he managed to show up not in the departed realm, but in this weird world known only as the Grasslands. Now, the Grasslands are, again, quite strange. We never really saw anything like this prior to this scene in March of the Oni, and we don't really have a sense of what this place is or where it can be located. We're not sure if it's one of the 16 realms, or if it's just a realm exclusive to various members of the first Spinjitzu Master's bloodline, which of course is a common theory. But regardless, we don't know a whole lot about the Grasslands. But what we do know is that, judging from this vision, the only inhabitants of this realm are indeed the Golden Dragon and the first Spinjitzu Master. Lloyd reunited with the Golden Dragon during the finale of March of the Oni, and also met the first Spinjitzu Master for the very first time, face to face. The first Spinjitzu Master was always kind of like a spiritual being throughout Ninjago's lore. A lot of people really don't know a whole lot about him. The first Spinjitzu Master is a very faceless character. We don't really know what he looks like. We don't really know a whole lot about his personality, but we do know that he is very wise, and he brought Lloyd here for a reason. Again, we're not exactly sure why Lloyd showed up here, but if he wasn't just naturally brought here when he died, it is possible that the first Spinjitzu Master kind of plucked him out of Ninjago and brought him here for a reason. What exactly is that reason? The first Spinjitzu Master kind of explains the legacy of Lloyd to himself and the legacy of his family, and he also mentions that he wants Lloyd to come with him for some reason. Now again, we're not exactly sure what the first Spinjitzu Master's intentions are here. Maybe he was trying to get Lloyd to experience what he missed when he lost Golden Power. In case you guys don't remember, Lloyd at one point did have access to the power of the first Spinjitzu Master. He was able to summon this exact same Golden Dragon at will, but he ultimately lost that power during Season 3. It was always kind of rumored that Lloyd hadn't really scratched the surface of his true potential just yet, and there was still so much more that he could have done with that power. Maybe the first Spinjitzu Master wanted Lloyd to take his place as the most spiritual being watching over Ninjago, just to make sure that nothing bad happened to it. Either that, or there's something else that I'm just not entirely seeing here. Either way, the first Spinjitzu Master's intentions were to get Lloyd to come with him for whatever reason, which makes me think once again that Lloyd was brought here for a reason, and brought here purposely by the first Spinjitzu Master. Maybe Lloyd was indeed intended to go to the departed realm, or maybe Lloyd didn't even die at all. It's hard to say right now. Either way though, Lloyd is here with the first Spinjitzu Master and the Golden Dragon. What exactly is he to do here? Well, of course, if you guys have seen the scene, you would know that Lloyd had ultimately decided to not go with the first Spinjitzu Master, and he decided to instead return to Ninjago to once again be with his friends and protect over the land that he loves so much. Now, what would have happened if Lloyd would have decided to go with the first Spinjitzu Master? What would have happened if Lloyd would have accepted this? Again, since this is the Ninjago equivalent, in a sense, of the afterlife, I think it's safe to say that Lloyd would no longer be able to return to Ninjago if he would have gone with the first Spinjitzu Master. I'm not sure what benefit that would have had then on the overall story. I'm not sure what Lloyd would have done if he were to obtain a large amount of power, maybe catch up on his training that he missed during his time as the Golden Ninja. I'm not sure what would have come from that if he would have even unlocked that power. It's not like he can go back to Ninjago again, so what exactly was the point here? That's really hard to say. But regardless, the most most straightforward answer would be that Lloyd would just not be able to return to Ninjago anymore. In the Ninjago world, Lloyd would be dead here, and obviously that would affect the ninja team in a very big way. Without their leader, the ninja team probably wouldn't function the same way, and some stuff would be a little different on the team. I imagine the team probably would not be able to function very long without Lloyd, but we don't really know that for sure because Lloyd did not accept the first Spinjitzu Master's offer. He decided to go back to Ninjago to be with his friends, and I believe that this is a very powerful metaphor and a very good way of representing symbolism. All throughout Ninjago, Lloyd was once again kind of showcased to be this ultimate being, this power that came from many different origins and could ultimately become the most powerful being in the entirety of the show if he really wanted to. Lloyd had the opportunity to gain power, but every single time he was offered it, he ended up giving it away. We saw that during Season 3, when Lloyd gave up the remainder of his golden power to the ninja in order to restore their elemental powers. He rejected power for the sake of his friends. It's the same thing here. Lloyd rejects gaining this power and rejects the first Spinjitzu Master in order to go back to his friends, keep them safe, keep Ninjago safe, and most importantly, keep himself safe. This was done for a reason. This showcases that Lloyd has truly matured as a character, and I believe that was the intention of this scene. This scene was not to showcase the first Spinjitzu Master, as cool as that was, however. This scene was meant to showcase that Lloyd does indeed have a lot of maturity to his character. He's come a long way from being a whiny brat that only cared about candy and attention to being the most powerful ninja in the land, whether he likes it or not, in terms of physical strength and mental strength. Lloyd is powerful, and he doesn't need physical power in order to feel that way. He has his friends with him, he has that power alongside of himself, and he doesn't need physical golden power in order to feel powerful. We've seen that in a lot of other shows before as well, but Ninjago I think encapsulates it really well within this scene. In addition to that, I feel like Lloyd was also being tested in a way by the first Spinjitzu Master in order to make sure that Lloyd was indeed the right protector for the land. Remember, Ninjago is made of the first Spinjitzu Master. That is his creation, his baby, if you will. He wants to make sure that the people left behind to defend it are indeed worthy of defending it. Of course, with Lloyd being his direct descendant, I doubt that anyone had any doubts, but because Garmadon is indeed Lloyd's father, I feel like the first Spinjitzu Master just kind of wanted to reassure himself a little bit that Lloyd is the right person for the job. He is the right person to protect Ninjago. He's never going to back down when it comes to a fight. In this shot in particular, I really enjoy how that's represented. Lloyd in this moment is kind of stripped away from this mystical grassland setting and brought back to the reality that is Ninjago. However, he's content with it. He accepts it. He knows what he has to do, and even though he's never going to remember this scene again, presumably, I feel like it'll still be a part of him. If Lloyd eventually does get brought back to the grasslands in some degree or for some reason, I feel like he'll still remember it. Part of him will always be here, and this shot beautifully represents that, with Lloyd kind of transitioned over a shot of the pure grasslands. It shows that Lloyd's spirit will always be there, and this is always a place that he will return to when everything is all said and done in Ninjago. Again, I highly doubt that this scene was ever intentionally meant to just showcase the first Spinjitzu Master and then call it good from there. I feel like this was done for a very specific reason, and I feel like that was to represent Lloyd as this finally matured being that actually knows what he wants to do with his life, and what he wants to do is to protect his friends. Either way, going back to the main subject of this video, is this the Ninjago afterlife? I feel like this might be. I feel like if Lloyd ever does die within Ninjago, we will see him end up back here. I feel like this is where he's destined to be, and I feel like to an extent this is probably where descendants of the first Spinjitzu Master would go. You can also argue the case that this isn't true because Garmadon went to the departed realm, which, yeah, I could see that. Either way though, if Lloyd were to ever die in Ninjago, we will most definitely see him here. So that's all I wanted to say in this video. Is this the Ninjago equivalent of the afterlife? Probably only for a certain few people, but most of the people in Ninjago specifically go to the departed realm. So that's all I got to say in this video, guys. Thank you so much for checking out this one. Let me know down below in the comments what you think about this. Do you feel like this is Lloyd's afterlife? And what do you think the grasslands are in terms of a concept? Is it another realm? Is it just only something that various descendants of the first Spinjitzu Master can see? Is this something only elemental masters can see? Leave all your thoughts down below in the comments, guys. That'll pretty much wrap it up for my thoughts here, and hopefully you enjoyed the video. This was a fun one for me to make and produce, so hopefully you guys enjoyed that. It's just a very fascinating subject to me. I like talking about stuff like this because stuff like this doesn't really have an explicit answer throughout Ninjago, so you could basically just come up with any explanation that you want for it, as long as it kind of just makes sense and, you know, is applicable to other parts of the story, of course. But that's going to pretty much do it for my thoughts here in this video. Once again, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed, feel free to like, comment, subscribe, do all that fun stuff, and check out the links down below in the description for my other forms of social media. As always, big shout out goes out to my Patreon supporters, including once again the marvelous Jan. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Once again, my name is TannerFishies, and with that I bid you farewell.